So we are further into this install. I have like tape or something stuck in my foot. So the existing system is no longer on this wall, which is last we saw. And this fan is no longer, oh no, it is still attached, my bad. Anyways, so they have deconstructed the original system, and we're going to see where they moved everything. Hi, guy. All right. You got some work done.
Did.
Last I saw.
Yeah.
So, oh, they got a cubby? Look at that.
Isn't that neat?
And the batteries are underneath. These are Enduro 300s. So this is, oh, 4, okay.
There's 3 and then
But there's
one.
Enduro 300s.
Correct.
Okay. So last time we saw these Enduros were in the front, which again, these are batteries that we have installed. This was, they were supposed to get Enduros originally when they came to us, but they had other batteries that had some pretty severe problems with them. So we had an emergency 911 order batteries faster to Sedalia, Missouri, so they could still have a working system until they came to see us. So they have, or not they, but Mike and Pete, looks like they've installed some of the equipment. So do you want to take it away? Oh, that wire's no longer hanging here.
And that big ugly surge guard will leave too once we're ready to switch
that's
over.
leaving, yeah.
And we
That'll
got
go
lights. We got beautiful
Those
lights.
are plants.
Hey, lights.
It'll get brighter in there once Mike lights go in.
Thanks for the booty shot, by the way.
You're welcome. Oh, she knows that.
That was free.
Everybody loves a good room shot,
That was free of charge.
So under here,
So not only are we going to talk about like what you've done so far, but we're going to talk about the other stuff you found today and
oh,
yesterday.
there's a couple extra things like this box right here, which had electrical junctions in it, shore power, alternating current. And if I tell me when you see anything that does like it belongs.
Yeah.
Get off of there. We're gonna do a different one.
What's with those screw holes?
What's with those screw holes?
Yeah, what? Was that mounted to the roof, or where was that box mounted?
That was mounted in here on the roof, on this ceiling in here. But
And that was screwed to the frame?
it was screwed into the floor in this stuff.
So you're telling me these holes right here were screwed into the
Right
ceiling?
here, yes.
So why is it that color?
Some of this happened in here too.
All right, so what
I
happened?
don't know how, is it good enough to like weld a little chunk out of there?
Oh my.
That was, somebody jumped on that one for sure.
So explain like what was in there? Why? I'm assuming wires, like you said.
So something that was live touched this, and probably 50 amp, a live 50 amp wire is what did that, because it's so small and to the point. Like if a battery cable, no, it was 50 amp because there was 50 amp junctioned in here. So I mean that's all it could be. So there's that.
And that was inside here, so obviously those wires got hot.
No, just a single whack.
Oh.
Throw the breaker.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like a bang.
Got it.
Pow.
So it's like getting zapped or electrocuted.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, well, I mean, potentially yes.
Well, the box got zapped.
Yeah, the box got zapped. It was
Okay.
grounded, and something live touched it and arced really well. Very, very good, nice, clean arc.
Good lord. Okay.
So what else did we find today?
There was something on the roof.
Yeah, we kind of have to go up on that roof to show. We'll show it in a different live. We're gonna.
Well, doesn't Pete have a picture?
I don't have my phone.
Pete, where's that picture
Which one?
from today that we saw?
The box.
Up top?
Yeah, IPC. Hey, toss me my phone also.
Here's this picture.
So this was on the roof. So Pete was up on the roof inspecting all the wiring. I don't know. I don't do this. So what did you?
Yeah, it's just the solar stuff. Making sure it was wired correctly, voltages. This isn't typically how we would do that. We do a DIN rail type setup. This is kind of lazy. It's not necessarily wrong. It's just lazy. But the one thing they did is they went right through the HVAC, right through the middle of the duct. So what I'm noticing on these bars, where the copper is, from the air conditioning on a hot day, it'll create moisture in this box, and now all the terminals on the other side, I don't have a good picture of it, but are corroding. So they have to be redone anyways, but they use a really thin box.
It's not.
I mean, you can't really see it, but it's cracked right here.
Oh, I can see it.
It's an IP65 box, which is pretty much just dust proof.
Dust and
water resistant.
Mist and rain. It's not a very good, like IP66 up to 67.
Oh, that thought. What we got?
Whose brain is the delay? Delta, American, or
That's
Southwest?
United.
Oh, United. Okay.
Okay. So the fourth one. But
So this is a what box? IP
65.
Okay.
But the other thing to look at is how they just pretty much cut the rubber gland and just shoved it all in there and then sealed it. We do things a little differently.
Yeah.
Never mind, trailer's locked. Not going to do it. I have my keys, but I have mine.
If you want to grab it while we're chit-chatting. So the other thing that's in this box is, if you look...
I got lights. I have to kind of tilt it. There you go. Okay.
If you look right here, this wire goes down into the hole. And then there's another wire. Okay, the red wire and the black wire that are on the connectors, those go directly into the hole. But that wire I think it's this one right here, also goes over and goes down in the hole like this red wire. Those two wires right there are supporting the weight of the entire wire at the terminal. Meaning the wire's dangling, it's in the terminal, and all of the force of gravity is pulling against this wire at the terminal. You're supposed to mount the wire so that it's being held by a fastener.
Which you can see right here. A clear view of it where it goes in and then goes right down into the hole, and the same with the red, but you can't see because the connector's in the way. But this is
what we use in our applications.
We make them.
Right.
Okay.
And this is much thicker. This is 1/8 inch thick. That stuff up there is 1/16. It's as thick as this little bead right here.
And we also use glands.
We use
waterproof glands.
Yeah. Penetration glands. So, but that's what goes in our boxes.
So in short term, we've decided, or the client was, when we told him the news, from my understanding, when the phone call I had from you today was you spoke with the client, and now we are...
The client approached me and said, hey, what would it take to redo this right? Because in investigating, it was thought that the panels were larger than they were, meaning that they were more watts. They have 4 310 watt panels and 4 200 watt panels, totaling 2,040 watts total. 800 watt array, 12 40 watt array. We have 1,200 watts of batteries, which means at a minimum with the solar ratio, 2 watts for every 1 amp, you should have at least 2,400 watts of solar on the roof, because if you drain this bank out completely and then the next day, it's going to take more than 8 hours of sun to charge it back up. Good sun. So that means that you would probably spill into the next day to be able to charge it, and then it's a vicious cycle. It's a domino effect. So we're taking the 4 310 watt panels off and going with 14 200 watt panels, totaling 2,800 watts, 1,400 watts on each array.
Okay.
So, questions?
Nope, but we do have some people that are here watching with us. So Pneumatic Husker said, sup, dry campers, looking good.
Hello.
We got Ryan Bernhardt said, ouch, probably when we were doing the box. We got Andy. He said he's from England. So your accent sounds a bit strange to me, but it's okay.
We need to get Lee in here. No, that would be crazy as hell if I said that. That's Australia.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Oh,
Australian.
I'm just kidding.
My son, me and Pete's son, Liam, does he
British
tries to do an
accent?
Australian accent, but we're not quite sure. It's not quite Australian.
It's Southern American Australian.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm England, though.
Yeah, England. I mean, if you're from England, that's awesome. Pretty cool that you're watching in from England.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. It's got to be late there. It's got to be about
Well, I don't know if he's
midnight.
watching from England, but he's from England.
Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
it's one of my bucket list places.
Yeah.
And also, Nomadic Husker said, and ... This is why Mike did ours from the get-go. Sorry, our
Yep.
client's here.
Yeah.
Cover your ears. But he knows.
There's a reason
No.
why he's here now.
Well, no, he's really happy with the way that things are turning out.
Yeah. And we honestly, like, he knows we do this stuff.
For a living.
Right. Well, for a living, but we, do YouTube videos. We also do posts and stuff about it. But we do know the heartache and everything they've been through with this system. And the last thing we want to do is,
Continue that.
continue that for
Continue down
them,
that
or, so
We
we
got that vacuum back.
had to talk with them prior just to make sure that, they were okay with, whatever we say. And they said, absolutely. So, they're very good clients, and they are open to all of us being funny about this. I guess that's all we can do at this point, but it's getting fixed. So that's the good thing.
So on the technical side of things,
Ooh, not my forte.
we don't do these very often. So these big dogs right here, they weigh 75 pounds a piece.
So why don't we do quattros? Because we get asked this a lot. Like, why not quattros? Why 12 volt? Why don't you do 24 or 48 volt? That's just silly. Why, blah, 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 blah.
We'll answer quattros now. We'll do 24, 48 another time.
You just said like an hour worth of explaining
Yeah.
in those 3 sentences.
Well, it's the most we get.
Yeah. So, all right, quattros. So, in all honesty, it's not fully necessary unless you're going to be powering the camper beside you, basically. So you have 8 to 10,000 watts usable, as long as the temps are good. If your temps start getting higher, then you're going to be down around 8,000. But it's a domino effect. Okay, so these are like $1,000 more each than a multi-plus. It's cheaper to have 7,500 watts of multi-pluses, triples, than it is to have 2 of these. You save $1,000 by having 3 of those. And then you also, there's a lot of other things that have to happen too at that point, like, I'm gonna borrow the phone. So on this battery bank, it's double 4-aught to get the power out of the bank. There's another battery tucked back up in there at an angle. That's why the last one isn't pretty like the rest of them. But the battery bank, oops, wait, no, I'm gonna do this one more time right here. So the shunt, this is a 1,000 amp shunt. So this is my hand in comparison to the size of this thing. It's like 6 inches wide. It's about 2 inches tall. These are the bolts. There's a lot more bolting point or mounting points. It's a cascading effect with the amount of power that these things can use. So I have to beef everything up. I have to beef the wiring up. I have to beef the shunt has to be beefed up whenever it comes off. Do we have those gray switches handy? Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that in the bag somewhere.
So these guys right here, we normally use the red switches.
They're 400 continuous amps or 600 continuous amps.
So the red switches we use are 350 amps continuous each.
Yeah.
What does that mean by continuous for somebody
You can
like
run
me?
that continuously.
You can run it continuously.
Got it. Okay.
It has a peak of what, 600?
Seven.
7.
But this can continuously run at max if you can turn enough stuff on at 380 or 90.
I I think it's 390
390
each.
So you got to go to the next level of switch. So this is the same size of switch, and this will do 600 amps continuous. So this is almost twice the cost of the other switch, the red ones that we use. But when you go to this, it's cascading. So, and that's how we base the systems. We don't base the systems on, like if I had 5,000 amps of batteries, but only one multi plus 2 inverter, it maxes out at 250 amps. That's what I'm going to base my design on, is a 250 amp load, not what my bank is. So that's my thought process as doing electrical for 25 years. So, but having said all of that,
there's one more thing like that. You can't run a servo on both.
Right. So
Wait, what do you
Go ahead.
So
mean servo on both? Both what? The quattros?
so when you tether these together,
Okay.
you have the exact same problem that you have with multi ones tethered together, because these are single leg inverters, not so it's like a 30 amp inverter, or single leg, if you will,
Half of your panel.
half of your panel. When you tether these together, you have to tell it if you're on phased power or not phased power. 50 amp is phased power because it's 2 breakers put together, like when you flip the switch.
Right.
Okay. So when you do 30 amp, it's just a single
Right.
breaker. Okay. So 2 breakers means it's phased. So if I tell this that it's phased, 50 amp, and I plug in on 30, this one can take either. It doesn't matter. This one is looking for the phase, which is 180 degrees. If this one is plus, then this one's at minus, and they sit there and they flip flop.
That's where you get the line.
Okay, so anyhow, because this one doesn't like the power that's coming in, it will stay inverting. It thinks there's something wrong. And it has the ability to draw up to 390 amps when it's running off of the batteries and solar. This one can charge at 220 amps max. So this one has the ability to draw almost twice the amount of power that this one can produce, which means you could possibly be at a deficit. And even while you're on shore power, because it's not programmed to do phased power, non-phased power, you could have a system crash and your battery bank could go dead in the middle of the night while you're on shore power. So, having that school
Bill.
lesson, having that school lesson, the way that you can get around that is you have to, every time you switch, whether you're using phased or not phased power, you would have to reprogram these. For me, it take me like 3 or 4 minutes to do it, but it's a pain in the butt. You want a system that's automated to the point where you don't have to fool with it. So whenever you have single leg inverters like these, then you put one on each leg. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take all the solar, the shunt, one of the inverters on leg 1, and put it on one leg. Put it on servo, that thing. And then the other one is just going to be Bluetooth.
Okay.
Which isn't.
So if I understand this correctly, because I am not technical, I do all the logistics.
Yep.
So when we talk about the multi-plus, well, the 2s, let's just say, because those are what we put together most of the time. So when you have 2 of them, we call that a bucket. It's got a bucket of power
Right,
to
it's
pick
just-
from.
You're
Right.
running it.
So
in
this is
parallel.
not a bucket
This is
with the
not a
2.
bucket.
Okay.
Right, that's exactly right.
But
Got
this
it.
would be a really big bucket if we put them. If you could put
Yeah.
them together.
So-
they do make Quattro 2s, but they only make them in 24 and 48 volts.
Got it. Okay.
And the circumstances of this installation, these are what we're installing, and we don't ask questions.
Got it. Okay.
So, not being mean or cynical or anything like that, but this is what is to replace the multi-ones.
Got it. Right.
That-
Well, I mean,
They're great
let's just go back
inverters.
to
Yeah,
when the install was originally done.
Right.
It was definitely within the time frame that the multi 2s were
Mhm.
out. So
Yes.
it should have been used in this application, but for whatever reason,
From the get-go,
we don't know.
with
But
the system design, it should have been
right,
multi-twos in parallel, period.
right. But it wasn't. It was multi-ones, which are, 30 amps. So if you want 50 amp, you usually got to do 2 of them or whatever.
Right. And that was the problem that they were having, that their performance was crap. The batteries could crash on 30 amp.
It just never worked.
It just there's so many other things.
I mean,
There's
you
a
could
lot.
you could definitely do 2 multi-ones. I mean, because that's what we had in our Solitude. We had 2 multi-ones.
Yeah, but you're wiring them just like this.
Right, as
Right.
long as it's installed
Independent.
correctly.
Independent.
And
Right.
we didn't, and we also did not have a servo. We ran 2 Bluetooth dongles.
Correct. Yep.
Right, but in that application, it was fine. So,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying it's because there was so many other things wrong with this install that
You could run it off of multi-ones. That's not wrong. It's just not the
Right.
most efficient way.
right. And like I said, what I was getting at was multi-twos were out at that time, so they should have been used,
Yeah.
but they weren't. So
Well,
it's whatever. But
all of that comes back to the system design.
Yeah.
right,
In other words, like, these are the right MPPTs. These are 150, 100 terminal,
Not MC4.
not MC4.
I don't know if they know about it, but MC4 divide that 100 number on the right in half.
Right. Each set of terminals can handle half of the load,
so 50.
the 100.
Yes.
Yep.
So each terminal, so 50 and 50. There's
Not-
2 terminals.
Not these terminals.
Oh,
The
MC4.
plug-in ones, the MC4 ones.
got it.
Your
Okay.
other MPPT? Do you have one available?
So
If
Mike
it's
was saying,
readily
because I am a ding dong, if you will, when it comes to all the technical stuff. So I always tell him he needs to dumb it down for me so I can understand it in that terms, because there for a while, I'm not sure if I've always said this before, but he's always like AC, DC. I'm like, I don't know what the difference is. So when he kind of broke it down, he's like, all right, DC is battery power. And I'm like, okay, well, how can I remember DC? So, I put together DC Duracell. So I'm like, okay, well, I know Duracell's a battery. So now I know when he talks about AC and DC, DC is battery power because it's Duracell. And then
AC.
AC is shore power.
Yep.
So there's your
If you put it
freebie for
together,
today.
It's a great band.
Yeah.
So this is the 150/70-MC4. These are MC4 connectors.
Oh.
TR is terminals.
Okay,
This-
I never understood what that meant.
So the 70 here means there's 35 going
35
to
and
each set.
35.
So if you're running,
And that's solar.
yes. So if you're running your, say you're one of the people who go the parallel route and are expecting to use all 70 amps, but you only ran one
One set down.
and plug in.
The max is at 35, which is 500 watts.
Now I think you can branch connect them and get it, but that's another piece of
That's
when you could have just
That's $10 for a connector versus if you would have just ordered this one, the TR,
and been done.
just 2 in, done.
Yeah.
See, and I never see that one,
Nobody
the
ever
MC4.
uses
Well,
that.
because we don't use them in our
They're
applications.
cheaper
So,
because they're not as the demand isn't there.
I honestly, in all the installs, I've only seen maybe
Well,
one.
and the
Or
other
two.
thing that was new to me is, and I've learned this because of solar energy systems, solar energy systems. So up here it says Smart Solar. Well, they had on display Blue Smart or Smart Blue, and I'm like,
Blue Solar.
or Blue Solar, that's what it was. And I'm like, what is that?
So the funny thing is, Blue Solar isn't smart. Smart Solar is.
So, because I'm like, I've never seen that before. And they were like, oh, well, it's like the same thing, but it just doesn't have the Bluetooth capabilities, I think is what they said. And I was
Right.
like, well, why would you use that in application then? Like, why wouldn't you? And he's like, oh, it's only like a $50 whatever difference.
Right.
It's nothing compared to. So I'm like, well, why would people want to do the blue? But hey, whatever. I mean, teach their own.
Yep.
But I'm learning these things as we get these installs. I didn't know what MC4 was, and I didn't know what the TR meant. I just thought the TR was. It is what it is. Well, my DC battery power was a freebie for you, and I guess the TR was my thing.
Yep.
So. Rayleigh, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I'm sorry if I'm not. Creative Travel said, hey.
Hi.
So these guys, like I was saying, 75 pounds. These bad boys are in here. So to make this happen, I'll just tell you the behind the scenes. So none of this was here. All of this we built in the last 2 days. So I have, it's all painted black. It's a little tough to see.
You can kind of see it, yeah.
So I've got a 2x6 turned up on its edge. Then up here I've got a 2x6 this way on its edge, in front of three vertical boards that go this way. That's my backer for my weight distribution. Then I have 2 more sideways 2x6s that are right here and right here. So this board that's going into the ceiling will not allow it to come this way.
We have a question here.
Here.
Chris,
Come down.
oh,
There's the frame.
got the lights.
There we go.
Okay.
5/8 half-inch plywood. That's 3/4 inch. The ply, is he talking about there, the pocket, or?
I have who?
Which, so Chris Sobey, I'm sorry if I pronounced their last name wrong. He said 5/8 or half-inch ply. So which one
Well, that's 5/8.
are you wondering
This is
about?
5/8. 5/8 here, 5/8 here.
But that's a lot of that's from the
Backing,
factory.
the backing.
That's factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he means the wood that you did. All this wood. Is
all
that correct?
this-
like all the framing?
That's 2x. All this is 2x6. There are a few 2x4s in here. This one and that wall right there.
He's talking about, I think he means, did we put plywood back here? No.
No, it's open.
It's
Okay.
open for heat.
Yeah. Actually, I can show it.
It'll be a little bumpy here, guys. Hold up, put your seatbelts on and hang on.
So I don't know if you can see this or not, but there, right here, right there is a 2x running this way, and then down there is another one running horizontally behind the equipment. So there's an air pocket the whole way across there. Then down here, sorry, actually let me turn my watch light on. So there's pockets vertically in between. So the whole back of the thing is basically open. Only a 2x6 this way and 2x6 this way that the plate attaches to. On these Quattros, the plate is as big as the unit, and there's 14 screws in it that hold it to the 2x.
Okay.
But all of the rest of it is open behind it. I've got about a 3-inch here, 2.5, 3-fingered wide here, and then that whole side is open. And then plus the whole back of it, I can reach around and touch the back of the inverters.
Got it. He said, thank you. Add better cooling. Check.
Well, there's only so much room. You're supposed to, look, the specs say you're supposed to have, I want to say it's at least 6 inches all the way around it, but if you did that, nothing else would fit. So the client has an air mover that if he is running a very heavy load, then, you know, if the fans are kicking on, then he'll open the bays and get the wind going through. So.
Do we have any other questions on anything? We can get as technical as you want.
Sure, now's the time.
Right? Mike has also said before, and I'm wondering if you guys would be interested. Again, not technical here. So he said he should do a walkthrough with me because because I don't understand any of this. And not that I mean, yes, I need to in hindsight, but
well, because you run one of these in your rig.
Well, yes, but a lot of people don't know how to run these. So when we have clients that come to us, you know, a lot of them they have very, very basic knowledge. And that's, I mean, I don't even know if I would say I have basic knowledge. I mean, I guess I can say I would do, but.
How many walkthroughs did I do at Airstream? Like 4 or 5.
Yeah, there was a lot of walkthroughs there at the Airstream. Yeah.
So installers, if you're out there or you come across this, do better. make something so that the don't just hand them the book, because the book does not do a good job putting things in layman's terms. Question?
Nope. Chris Sobey just said half a clue. So dangerous.
Well, for those that are brave enough to try it, fuse everything. Fuse everything.
And put shutoffs in.
Put shutoffs. Put shutoffs. When
And
you come
fuse
off
it.
of the batteries, go to a fuse and put a shutoff.
Yep.
Just think about if
Your
think-
water line coming into your house.
Yes, your water line coming into your house. Your shore power coming in. It's got to shut off. You
Everything
don't
has
straight
a
wire
shut
that thing. Ain't no hot wiring going on here. So just if you're brave enough and half a clue, just make sure that you can turn it off. That's the main thing.
Yep.
So anyhow, but yeah, these bad boys.
And it took two of us to put them up there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! I wish I could have seen
It's
that
on
one.
camera.
Yeah,
It's on camera?
It's on camera, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's on
It took
time.
two of us to put them in there.
Yeah, I was up top doing the guide, and you were laying down and pushing up. And they're no joke to get them on
I mean,
that stupid.
There's only so much clearance you have
Yeah.
here to get them up over the bracket.
Yeah, I have 3/4 of an inch clearance. And these brackets are unlike the multi-twos or the multi-ones. Since these brackets are on a mounting plate, you can't come in from the side. You have to come in forward and have enough clearance to set them down.
So they hook in
They
a
hook.
sense.
Yep, it's a reverse Z on both
Got it.
sides. Yep.
It has to be done.
Yep. So we're just starting to get some of the wiring done. I was waiting on some lugs to come in because I don't normally do this much 4/0, so I ran completely out of lugs, which all showed up today.
Yay!
So we'll be making some more battery stuff tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Be pretty close to being switched over tomorrow,
yeah, it should be
I think.
switched over.
What do you mean by switched over tomorrow?
Power.
Oh, okay.
Power switched over to short on the putting the rig on the system with lithium and inverting ability.
Got it. Okay.
It's typically a build out of this to this, I guess,
Where we are in our timeline.
level is usually 2 days. Just because there's so much cutting, so much painting, so much planning.
Yes. So this is the end of day 3. Yeah, the end of day 3. And now, granted, our days didn't start at 8:01. Just saying.
We've been a little later.
We've been a little later than that, at an hour or 2. But
Day 1 was tear out of all the other stuff. It's usually a day of tear out
And then
inspecting and planning.
yeah, because I'm gonna wait for the plane to go by.
Yeah, this must be a big one. It's loud. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I'm over here kicking
That was
dogs.
weird. What was
Brought
that?
to you by Delta.
Oh,
Delta.
now look what I made him do. Now he's dragging his butt on the ground.
Oh god. You know,
You
those
do
things
that
are
too.
live now.
What?
I say you do that too.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were
So
behind
anyhow,
me. I'm sorry.
the biggest part is, you know, you're sitting there, you're trying to figure out where you can fit 56 inches of batteries by, 20 inches wide, or, where are you going to fit,
2 Quattros.
29 inches wide of inverters. And then once you finally figure out the spot, now you gotta bridge from here to here. And like in this rig, in the beacon, there is a right here, which is in the very middle of the coach, there is a piece of frame that runs this way. In some other manufacturers, they don't put a brace between this floor so that this floor touches the frame. It'll allow it to sag. That's why you get the sag, is because they didn't put that bracing in. But this one does have that, so I wanted to make sure that I had my center beam of support directly over that. So a lot of planning to making these things.
There's a great question that came in.
Yeah, so Chris also said all that comes out in with the smaller systems or even factory stuff, when we pull it out, what do we do with it? Do we sell it on eBay? What do we typically do with it? Because actually, you know what? That's a great question because we've talked about this.
I'll show you what we do with it.
Yeah,
we have no, I'm not worried. We got so much of it.
Yeah.
We give it away. Believe it or not.
Yeah, we give it away. If the client doesn't want it to sell it or other projects of their own, then we generally, we have 3 or 4 inverters and 2 or 3 MPPTs now that have come out.
Yeah, and there's going to be some more coming out of the Brinkley because he wants to do something fun for the watchers. Or something. That's on him though.
Right.
Well, we've talked about, you know, because
we give away. We do all.
Panels. We typically, usually most of the time, I can say probably about 99% of the time, usually when we're doing an install, somebody walks by and says, hey, what are you guys doing? Or, oh, you're the dry campers. I've seen you guys, love your work, blah, blah, blah. And
I can't afford the blue stuff.
I can't afford that. I really want to do it though. It's like, oh, well, here you go. Pick an inverter. What do you want to do with it? And I'll give you something sized that'll handle it.
But we always ask our clients first because ultimately it's their first dib. So
first dibs.
Yeah, first dibs.
I got dibs. Shotgun.
Normally they say do what you want with it, give it away or whatever. So that's what we do.
Yes, Chris, we definitely have a pile of stuff.
All right, let's go for a walk.
You want to see the pile of stuff? But so what I was saying before, because the client with the Brinkley had said about a giveaway, and I'm like, that's actually a good idea. So maybe when we do a live or something, we can maybe like offer it up, kind of have like a giveaway.
It's super messy back there.
It's really messy. We're working out of it.
Yes.
Be kind.
No, just kidding. Be kind, it's a mess. Trust me, they get enough grief from me every day. Or anytime I come in here.
If you look there, there's 4 inverters.
Hold on, I gotta walk without ruining my shoes.
So this is a WIFCO 2000. This is a WIFCO 1000. This is a 2000. That came out of Airstream. And then back in the back, we have a Magnum Hybrid 2400.
No, that's a 3000.
Is it a 3K?
Yeah, there, a
Jesus,
DC to
scared
DC.
me.
There's a Renogy DC to DC.
Charger. There's
this way. Spare transfer
switch.
Oh my goodness.
2 of these guys, Future Solutions 100/50s.
I think that's it. Some of the other stuff we just throw away because it's not worth even giving out to your enemies.
Right.
I think that's all. I sent one of these out to one of my buddies back home recently. So
Back home, this is home for us.
Oh, I mean back in Pennsylvania.
Our hometown.
But,
so Chris said Brinkley G3250 for me.
Ooh, yeah, we're doing a Brinkley, and we have another one showing up tomorrow.
But, Well, the one that's sitting here is a G.
Is that the rear kitchen one?
You told me the other day.
It is.
Oh, this one over here?
Yeah, not our current client.
Oh, just the one that's here.
The one that's here.
And then what is the other Brinkley that's coming to us on Sunday?
I don't know which model it is. We don't have it written down. It's a toy hauler. I don't know which toy hauler.
We honestly don't know. I went and looked at the proposal because normally I put that on there because it's a prior client, so this is their second round, and it just says Brinkley. It's
I know. I tried looking for it too, but I mean, if I go back in,
I'm sure.
If I go back in my emails, I'll find it because he told me he was ordering it.
Talk about on the live for it.
I know, right? All right, so he's got a 3250. It's the rear kitchen with the deck. So I think that's what's sitting here in the campground as well.
Yeah.
So
and nobody's been there. Is it yours? I don't know. We've been here.
It's been here 4 weeks now, and nobody's been there.
Yeah.
We've been here 4 weeks already.
Or 3.
Wow.
We've been here 3.
Within like 3 days, it'll be a month.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're here in Jacksonville, actually North Jacksonville. So this is where we're gonna pretty much remain. So this will be our final resting place.
Yeah, hot minute
I don't want to die yet.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
Ticking.
So let us know in the comments what you think, what we should do with this
Oh,
this
man.
this rich pile, I guess we'll call it.
Hold on,
the-
you gotta check this
The
pile
Richie
out.
Rich pile.
Extra cable. Oh, that's the cables from another installer, right?
Oh, is it in here?
Where'd you
in
take
there.
your little ring of?
They're in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
the terminals were just falling off.
So, see these guys right here, these three in the middle?
Yep.
I was testing these to see if I could reuse the cables, and they
pulled
just
right-
bloop, came right off on an active system. And then one that came off on this side. I did that.
You sparked it.
Well, I cut it
I know,
to
but
do the
the other side had a little heat on it.
yeah,
Ah, did that.
I did that.
And we have, usually there's a pile of wire, but the last ball of wire,
No,
we,
we have this pile.
yeah, that's from one of the other.
There's that pile.
Oh, that's what's left over from the other that did this, the same install of this RV. Same
Oh.
installer.
Same installer. Oh, right. This here.
Oh, sorry if you guys are
I don't know
getting
if you can
sick.
get to it.
There's a whole bin of miscellaneous. wire.
Miscellaneous 4/0, 2/0.
So what do you do with this wire? Like,
We
why are
just
we
pick
hanging
at
on
it.
to it?
We pick at it.
You pick it up.
I mean,
mean-
that stuff is, some of that stuff is $8 a foot.
So how do you know it's still good then?
We pulled a bar. We pulled a jacket off. Cut.
Yeah, it's
You can tell when it's cut.
It's not like the milk, you know, it has a date on it.
Oh my. Mm.
We do sniff check it before we use them, though.
But if
So
it's
gross.
chunky, we throw it away.
Oh my gosh! I did not eat dinner yet, and you're gonna spoil it.
You said spoil.
Oh my god!
So,
Listen, you guys, if you
some
keep
of
it up,
the-
you're gonna take me to Sliders. So
Some of the.
That's
No,
not close.
not close at all.
no,
Some of the wire, like
it's Friday.
the same installer that did this install did one we did at the Grand Design Rally.
The reinstall.
We gave the wire away.
Yep.
There was somebody that knew who Mike was, and he
Yeah, there was
put some heat into his batteries.
probably about 30 pounds of 4/0.
Yep. So he gave it to him. I mean, we don't pay for it, so
I'm
I'll
not-
always client first. You want to take it, you want
Right.
to scrap it, give it away.
and I don't use, I don't recycle wire in that way,
Unless it's one of our rigs.
unless it's one of our rigs. Yeah.
But mainly, honestly, we usually give it away or scrap it, or not even scrap it. We throw it away.
Yeah, just throw it away.
Uh,
Now that we're stationary, we might
we might actually save it
get a
somewhat.
bucket, start throwing it in there.
And tell me that now, I just threw away a bunch of. But yeah, we don't do it. It's not worth the risk later down the road.
No, and
For
I'm already charging for the wire. Yes, that in my mind that's completely unethical.
Mhm.
Absolutely unethical.
So, like the big pile of wire they have was equivalent, and we give it away. He has a buddy that's going to use it, so we're just going to use what we need on his system.
Re-tip everything.
Yeah, we don't use any of
That wire is the same wire that we buy.
It's Windy Nation. It's not. Usually, you can tell if it got real hot. It'd be
Or if it's copper clad.
yeah, or if it's
tin-
copper clad,
Tin,
tin
sorry,
coated.
aluminum over tin. No, copper over aluminum.
You can usually tell by the jacket if it's decent wire. This isn't bad. This is tough legs, but we usually use Windy Nation. We go now that we're in Jacksonville, we'll go back to the welding supply store. We just go to a supply house.
Yep. Normally when we're traveling, we have to get it on the eye. I'll hit like a Airgas or a welding supply company and pay the
You're too out on the floor.
$9 to $12 a foot, depending on where we are in the country.
Yep, pretty much.
It hurts. So,
But you gotta
But
use it. You
that's
gotta
why
have the
we
good stuff.
that's also why we charge what we charge. A lot of it I don't even make any money on. It's just pass through.
So those that are watching, so tell us what you want to see going forward on these lives, or if it's something that you want to.
Drawer.
All the switches,
We
yeah.
buy them bulk.
If you want to
But
see,
not bulk prices.
Mike do something, like if you want to know how, like why he does it that way, or
Explain something in detail.
anything, because we
Well,
also
you
get
got
the,
24 and 48, but that's not.
but we also get the.
That's a video in itself.
Well, your YouTube videos, they show your work, but I don't get anything out of it because obviously it's not slowed down. It's all fast. But if we slowed it down, then we would give all of our tricks away.
Well, not only that, you'd have a 80-hour video.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
So
Literally. It takes, so on a regular install, because there's 2 of us, we normally finish it in 3 to 5 days. If it's a 5-day install for both of us, you're talking 70 hours of video.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum, because some of those days we'll start at 8, 9, and not stop till 8 or 9.
so Chris said more 24-volt installs. I mean, they don't. If a client wants 24-volt,
Yeah, I'll install it.
we'll install it. There's no. We'll give you what the client wants. I mean, we'll give you what you want, basically, as long as it makes sense.
So if Chris wants a 24-volt install, all of my clients want no maintenance and simple. They don't want to manage 3 different power systems.
So that's typically why we do 12-volt.
That's why we do 12-volt. Is because now all they have to manage is their 12-volt. Make sure that everything is turned. All the switches are turned on. Boom, lights work.
Yep, you don't have to have 2 different systems or 3.
All
Well,
right.
3 obviously, because AC 12 and 48 or 24.
So Ryan, sorry, go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
Right.
Well, and sometimes I don't know if I'm going to explain this correctly. The efficiencies you lose from going up and going back down aren't.
It's not worth it. It's a wash.
It's a wash. You're not gaining anything.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'm sure I'll get some flack for that.
Hey,
Sky's purple, man.
that's right.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to cut this short here because I got 10% battery life.
All right.
Anyway, so Ryan Barnhart wants to hear the 12-volt versus 24-volt talk.
Okay.
The,
Not right now,
the whole
but-
thing, Ryan, or kind of like an abbreviated-ish?
Just a sidebar question. Ryan, is your range still trying to cook while you're rolling down the road?
Is your range what? I guess he'll know what it means. I don't know what it means.
He set up a camera in his rig while it was going down the road,
Did it turn on the roof?
and the range turned on because they didn't pull the range in, and it came out and touched the island,
It would turn
and
on.
it.
Oh my gosh.
Put a little pot of beans on there.
What?
By the time you get to your
Yes,
place,
sir.
you got some lunch.
I saw that. I was like, wow. I don't know what happened. It must have turned on by itself. Well, there's proof.
Abbreviated is good. No recent fires. Good to
Good
go.
deal.
Yeah, love
Good
to
deal.
hear that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can do an abbreviated live.
Yeah. Yeah, I can set up some. I really need a whiteboard, something like that. I'd probably just do it on the side of this thing with dry erase.
This
Yeah,
thing.
we're gonna
Oh,
replace
the
panels anyways.
Yeah.
trailer. I mean, I have a really small whiteboard for the kids, but yeah, so we can do that. We have a lot going on. So not only did we have,
Say what I want to say about videos.
not yet.
No. Okay.
So we have the Brinkley that we started as well, but we switched gears to come to the Beacon because it's in dire need, and our Brinkley,
It's here for till March 9th.
yeah, our Brinkley client was actually like, listen, do them, please.
He just wants to hang out with us more, which I'm cool with.
So we not only have that Brinkley, we have this Beacon currently. We have a gentleman that just came in today who is
Just
from
a
the
quick
Grand Design
battery
Rally.
swap.
Yep, just a lithium
Yeah,
battery
mosquitoes
swap.
in your head.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's getting
There you
time.
go. Yep.
Ah,
It's Mosquito 30.
yeah, and they love me, and I do not love them. It is definitely a love-hate relationship. So anyway, and then we have another Brinkley coming in on Sunday. So
Yes.
we kind of will have 3 installs going on, and plus we got Hurricane Sarah coming, but it's not really a hurricane. It's kind of more of a tropical
It's a-
suppression.
It's a
Depression.
very large inconvenience.
Yeah.
Because
So
I have solar to do next week, and even if it isn't windy, if it is rainy, that's gonna ruin
Yeah.
things. And
So-
then we have our own time. We're
Yep.
supposed to leave town and go do some fun family type things.
Disney.
Yeah, that's right. For Thanksgiving. And then we get back here and we got a little time off. We probably can squeeze some videos out, some lives.
Yeah.
Um,
So after Thanksgiving, Ryan, we will get into that 12-volt versus 24-volt talk. I can put up a thing on Facebook prior so that way everybody knows when we're going to do that roughly. So yeah.
sounds like a
like to hear what Mike wanted to say about the videos. Maybe when we do the 12 volt versus 24 volt talk, we'll bring out what he's wants to say about videos.
I'll give you a little teaser. I have to have an install. I really need an install for what I want to do.
And not the crazy amount of installs we have going on right now.
Yeah, now's not the time.
No. So, again, we'll come back after Thanksgiving and talk about the 12 volt versus 24 volt talk. But we will obviously go live again once we get this install finished up, or close to it.
Hold on 1 second. Keep talking.
No, not me. I hate being on video. Anyway, so yeah, we'll talk about that. And so come back every day or whatever, and I'll post it on Facebook when we're going to go live and show you some more updates on this beacon. And are you guys going to touch base back with the other Brinkley we're currently working on, or not till we get back after Disney?
No, the Brinkley, we have to go back over there and get him switched over so he's on the system. The system is installed, it just needs AC switchover and DC. It just needs programming.
Got it. Okay. Okay, but he's good. He says power. He's good still.
Yep.
And then we have another Brinkley coming in. So there's just some stuff. So we'll go live and we'll show you guys all this craziness.
Yeah. That's the reason why we're doing the lives, is because sometimes this is how we get, and that's why we don't post for 2 months, is because we're doing this and then we hop in the car and we drive for 2 days or 3 days or whatever, and then we get out and we unload and then we get something going. And then, so for example, as soon as we landed here, I had 2 or 3 small things. People came here and met us to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And every single one of them, including this one, the beacon, it had to extend days because they wanted to add to their system on the fly.
Yep.
So those are other things that just compound to not having organized time.
Yeah.
That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah. So sometimes they get started on the job right away and they forget to video. So then at that point it's pointless to start videoing it when it's halfway through the install.
Yep.
And then on my end, it's like I have 2 kids and we just got them back in school, so we're no longer homeschooling. So it was errands, kids, work,
Yep.
logistics,
Yep.
driving.
Clearing property, managing all that on my side.
But we are at a point now where we're finally settling in, and so we want to do more lives with you guys. We want to get more personable and have you guys ask questions and tell us what you want to hear more of and what you want to see more of. So that's basically it.
Yeah.
So check back in with us. Keep looking on Facebook as well when we go live, or Instagram. We'll always go live on YouTube and post it to our Facebook account. So thanks for watching this Friday night. Go get some grub wherever you are. And
So why didn't the chicken cross the road?
because it had a bok.
No, because.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys.
Yep.
Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend.
See ya.
Bye.